How many of y'all have a grandmother named Willie Mae, Annie Mae, Lula Mae, Edna Mae, Ida Mae? How many of y'all have a grandmother named that? Or a great grandmother named that? Where do y'all think those names come from? Do anybody ever thought about that? Those were indigenous names that had to be changed over into American society. Like, for instance, Mae meant maiden, which was woman, queen, goddess, matriarch. That's what that meant in indigenous tribes, right? So Annie meant favor, a woman of favor. So favorist maiden would be an indigenous name to somebody. So when you change that name over to fit into American society, you say Annie Mae. Eula, which is E-U-L-A, that was like a good speaking maiden. Eula Mae was like a good speaking, I don't know how to put it, but like Eula comes like from the word eulogy. So eulogy is like a presentation, a spoken word, or a blessing of some sorts like that, right? So Eula Mae was like good speaking maiden. That's what a name would be. So if you wasn't a part of the hierarchy, because if you had Mae on the end of your name, you was called a maiden, you was part of the hierarchy in indigenous tribes. So if you didn't have that distinction, you would get named after something of nature, like Myrtle or Pearl or Lily or Daisy. You see what I'm saying? You see, my mother's mother was an Annie. My father's mother was a Ruby. It's indigenous all through my damn family, both sides. So in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, or whatever, you know, black people or indigenous people of this land could not claim it. They would kill you if you claimed your native tribe or said it out loud. My grandma was almost 90 years old when she died, and she was part of the silent generation. Our grandmothers, great grandmothers, they refused to talk. They were very stoic. They didn't tell us about slavery. Have y'all noticed that? They didn't tell us stories about Harriet Tubman. All of these things we learned in school because our grandparents and our great-grandparents were silent. They didn't tell us nothing. They didn't teach us nothing because some of them came from indigenous tribes, some of them did come from slaves. But they had so much fear in them. They could not speak about their ethnicity, their true ethnicity, their indigenous nature, their indigenous heritage. You know what I mean? When the $5 Indians came in and started claiming these names, claiming themselves as Indians and Native Americans or whatever, that forced our people to be silent, to not tell them their truth. That's why our grandmothers was in that silent generation.